We had a rough start today. Welcome to Creative Conversations. I am Michael Sean Corby, and these creative conversations are really all about sharing creativity and more specifically, how that creativity relates to NAHA. As the Oscars of the industry, we felt it was very important, especially with the challenging year or so that we've had, to really share with people how NAHA can change their life, share with people what it takes to participate in NAHA, to enter NAHA and to win NAHA, and of course, to be nominated and to win eventually. And we have a winner today. So congrats to all the nominees. It was just barely a month ago since then. I want to say a big thank you again to Vernon Francois, who we know who he is. He's the one with all the celebrity clients like Lupita and Zendaya and Serena. The first names, they only need first names, as we say. We had Fatima just over 2 weeks ago, and the category was Inspiring Salon. And my God, what an incredible, inspiring human she is, and how that has really spread throughout this incredible salon. So she is nominated for Inspiring Salon, Sweet Spot Salon and Spa. Make sure you check it out. Before I move into our special guest today, ISSE will be virtual this year. I know many of you know, but now you can get the tickets. It's March 14th and 16th. You got nothing better to do than to get in front of your computer, get your popcorn, get your scissors, get excited, get ready. It's only $25, and you're going to be able to shop. You're going to be able to see classes. It's really exciting. Even yours truly will be there with our special guest. So I'll be there on behalf of Living Proof, and we're excited to share with you some great stage presentations. And the live NAHA show, we still want to keep that live. We still want the atmosphere of being the Oscars for hair. And so that will be August 29th in Las Vegas, right? At Cosmoprof, at Mandalay Bay. So grab your girls, grab a cheap flight, get there. Tickets go on sale this spring, so we'll see you there this summer. My next guest will be on February 24th. That is Isidro Valencia. And if you've been looking at the nominees, his incredible, just like incredible makeup. It's like I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. It's so creative and artistic. Make sure you check that out. We will have this incredible man on the 24th. And as always, probeauty.org/NAHA for anything related to creative conversations or NAHA. And if you want to come to ISSE, probeauty.org/ISSE. And yeah, like I said, I'll be there and I will see you there. My guest today is not only a multiple nominee for NAHA, she is a NAHA winner. She has over 30 years experience in the industry. And I think she's like me. We stop at 30, so it will always be at 30 years experience in the industry. I'm going to try and keep her from laughing. She works behind the chair. She is still in their salon hairdresser. She's not here to talk above anybody today, even though she has this incredible career. She does stage work, celebrity work, and photo shoots. She has her own teaching style and curriculum, which we'll get into. You may remember her from the Master Platform Artist and the main stage shows for Grand Web. She is originally from the UK, but she currently resides in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, where she is the owner of Follicle Studio. And one of her passions, which I'm going to really pick her for today, is creating tips and tricks and simple techniques for achieving what you want. Although I know some of her master students, this woman will make sure you know your stuff. So without further ado, please welcome to the show, Francesca Rivetti, our NAHA nominee for Avant-Garde this year. Go ahead and show us your face, beautiful. First of all, congratulations and a bit of champagne to your nomination. Cheers.
To Michael.
To you and your nomination.
Thank
Bravo.
you. So excited. The team, thank you. The team and I are beyond excited, beyond. and my clients, friends, family, community. Everybody's really excited about the nomination. 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. She's like, but who's counting? I'm counting. No, we're going to get into many of your collections. We're all counting. So what I want to do is I like to start in the same place with all of our stylists, and we are full on all about the nominees. And we had Fatima for Inspiring Salon last week. What I'd like to do is start with how did you start in the hair business? How did you know this is what you were going to be doing? Were you a kid styling mom's hair? How did it all start for you?
Yes, for me, it was in my blood. It's in my blood. My earliest memory was standing on the toilet seat cover, trying to put rollers in my mum's hair. I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and I always wanted to do hair. Unlike my parents, they did not want me to because they didn't think it was a great career to go in, but I've obviously proven them very wrong I like what you said. I stopped at 30 years. So it's been in my blood, and I'm fortunate. I don't know. I'm passionate about it. It's like it's part of me. It's who I am.
Right. I think you can go ahead and tell that wonderful, beautiful story. But what I'd like to do is talk about some of the early work here that you sent us to remind folks how long. I mean, we've got to talk about this. You look amazing. Rocking that perm, or is that natural curl?
I love this. I mean, no, if it wasn't straight, clean, and blunt, it was permed. That's how it was, right? That was the 80s. And that's actually my mum, bless her, came in for a blow dry. And look, I have a yellow blow dryer because the salon, this was taken in the early 80s in Peterborough, where I'm from in the UK, very small town, but worked for a group. They had 4 salons called the Designer Group. And our color scheme was yellow and black. And I was known as the Queen Bee because I used to travel around their 4 salons and teach. I used to teach on Tuesdays. I used to teach their group. And it's a great, it's so natural and in the moment. I just absolutely love this photo. And I'm so glad I was able to find it because I don't know.
I love it. And so as I'm flipping through these photos, you have been at it for a while. I'm not going to talk about that just yet. But I mean, you've been an educator. Many people know you from your stage work for Graham Webb, doing these incredible campaigns. I know people who used to be on your team when you had the wine and cheese collection, which might have taken all night just to process the red and white side by side. Are you? So what I want to do now is I want to go back, and this image here, this was your first win with NAHA, if I'm not mistaken, and in the editorial category. How has editorial work influenced your NAHA participation? Because you won for something that was in a magazine, and now you've gone on to have many entries throughout your time.
Yeah, this was my first entry ever. So how awesome was that to get to win on the first go round, right? I mean, then you get the bug.
Amazing.
I was lucky enough to the story behind that this was in 2004. The story behind that was a photographer reached out to me literally at the last minute. I was on the road doing a hair show in Detroit, Michigan, and a photographer from Philly Star magazine wanted to put me on hold. And I'm like, well, I'm not in town. I don't get back till Monday, late Monday night. And anyway, they decided to go with me. So thank God they did. And I believe that everything just kind of unfolds as it's meant to in life. And we did this amazing editorial bridal shoot, which got the cover of the magazine. And it was like a 5-10 page spread in the magazine itself. And I've been doing photo shoots, Michael, since I can remember, since disposable cameras. Remember disposable cameras?
Oh, yes, I do.
So, I mean, I've always, I've always, like, when I've done something, when I've created a look on my client, I'll photograph it. I think you have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your biggest fan behind the chair, on set at a photo shoot, or on stage. You've got to love what you have produced.
Oh, I like that. That's,
Otherwise,
I mean, that
it won't
is.
make sense. It won't make.
So how many times, so it started in 2004, how many times have you entered NAHA?
Well, I think
Many?
it feels like every year since then, but I think I only missed maybe once or twice. Almost every year. Let's say 17 maybe years.
Wow.
2004 from now. You do the math. I don't know. But yeah, you know, for me, I love doing photo shoots because it's like tea, right? Cup of tea. But I just came up with something today as I was thinking about our interview this evening. And I was like, you know, because I knew there was going to be a lot of questions asked. But so the word tea means you have to have a thought first. That's the T. And you have to have an emotion, a feeling attached to that. And with that becomes an action. So TEA. And a lot of people ask me, well, how do you go about doing right? So I came up with that today. I like that. Tea time.
Tea time.
It's tea time. It's a thought, an emotion, and an action. And then with that, you produce. And
I love it.
One of the things I've learned over the years, Michael, doing photo shoots as often as I have, is that it is a production. And I think if everybody that is out there to do a photo shoot, wants to do a photo shoot, think of it as a movie. When you shoot a movie, what do you need? Well, you need the actors, you need the hair, makeup, wardrobe, you need the cameraman, so on and so forth. Same as with a photo shoot. The photo shoot is not going to happen without the team. And the team is, as you know, a photographer, makeup, stylist, model, of course, and an art director if you're not used to being behind the camera as well.
It is, and I love your incredible work from the beginnings of all this for you. Let's talk about, because I think that I'm running the screen here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try that. Yeah, it looks good. So I'd like to talk about this collection because, like you said, I think if we add the math, you've entered like 16 times, and not every single time do you get nominated. And so what I'd like to do is talk through some of your previous collections. What was your inspiration for this one? And I'll just sort of click through the images here, and I'll go back and forth. Oops, that's the next one. But I'll just click through these a little bit and tell us your process here. Okay,
so this collection, I call it Insanity. Initially, I was going to use straitjackets, but I couldn't find the right type of straitjacket. It looked too cheap, or it wasn't right. So this is where I was going with this. Like, it was almost like they were coming at like they're in a loony bin kind of thing, you know, like an asylum. So there's like this insanity about them. And this actually, what Jackie is wearing here is actually a tutu. And Jackie wasn't supposed to be in the shoot. She's a friend of mine who always used to come and help and assist. But lo and behold, if you've done photo shoots like you have as well, Michael, and our audience, every now and then a model doesn't show up, right? What do? You find what you've got right there. So Jackie, get in, you're in. And so this wasn't what it was. This wasn't supposed to be in this collection, but I did what I had to do under the circumstances. So yeah, that was the inspiration. I just loved the one model where she looks like she's got stitches at the side of her head.
Yeah, I mean,
she's been one. She really wanted to be part of a collection for quite a while. She knows that I do like more collections. Yeah. So I said to her, well, if I'm using you, I need to shave your hair at the side. I need to. And she was totally in, and we left like a 1/4 inch section of hair out and then braided that. But if you look closely, it looks like stitches. And then I did the styling as well. So that there's an amazing designer in New York that I've known since he was an upcoming designer called, actually, this is his name, So Hung. That is his name, seriously. And he is known for zips. He works with a lot of zips. I knew you would like that. That really is his name. And so there was there was this piece. It's actually a belt that she's wearing, but I put it around the neck, and then you'll see it on another model that I think I put it as a bustier on her in this collection. And you know, it didn't get nominated, but like I said, I know what it feels like to enter and not get nominated. I also know what it feels like to enter, get nominated, but not take the award. So I know what that feels like, but that hasn't stopped me. I think what I'd like to share with our audience that you have to remember when you're entering NAHA, it's a competition. Bottom line, it's a competition, and you have to be. You have to accept. Yeah. You have to accept the fact that you didn't get nominated, because you can only pick 5 per category. That's it.
Right.
So you have to accept that fact and just take that and not let it dissuade you. Yeah, not let it dissuade you, because I know what it feels like. I've entered for many years. I got nominated. I won year 1. I got nominated twice the second year, didn't win. And then I didn't get a nomination until fast forward until last year. And then now this year, so 2 years in a row. But that hasn't stopped me creating and doing a photo shoot, because for me, that's me. It's my passion. It's a hobby. I just love. There's nothing more gratifying than having a thought up here and then putting it all together, all the ingredients that you need to make that shoot happen. And whether it's my current collection got nominated or not, I am proud of it. Very proud of the collection. I think it's stunning. And everybody, when they see it, they're like, wow. And I'd like to just express with our viewers, especially hair artists that are looking to get into photo shoots, love your looks. Be proud of what you've done, you know, because at the end of the day, you have to like own that and be proud of. So but I also, can I just say something, Michael? I'd like to.
Yes, of course.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, please. It's you.
I'd like to congratulate everyone. Yeah, I'd like to congratulate everyone that's ever entered NAHA, because again, like I said, I know what it feels like to enter and not get the nomination. But I really want to especially congratulate everyone that entered last year, whether they got nominated or not, because we all know last year was quite a year for us all.
Yeah.
So I just want to say well done to everyone that entered.
I think it's such incredible stuff, and you're so cheers, and to all the nominees. Yes, you're all winners. I want to and thank you. Like the next 2 questions I was thinking of, you know, you answered, which was, what if you're discouraged because you haven't won or placed, or what if you're thinking about doing it? But I think you wrapped that up perfectly. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to continue to some of your other collections, and let's talk about what was the vision, and I can click through a few of them here so you can see, but talk us through what would, no, I'm not talking about that yet. Let's talk about this vision. And it sounds like you sort of start with, so you were talking about an asylum, like, does it always start that way? And explain to us this one.
Okay, so yes, I like to name my collections, because to me, a collection is like a baby, you know, it's like, it's a seed at one point and then it grows. Now this collection I called Ice Queens, and I tell you why. Okay. This was my 5th year anniversary in business. And a friend of mine who is a manager at a big, well-known restaurant, Italian restaurant in Philadelphia, Mariana, said to me, you should have a party for your 5th anniversary and do some models. I'm like, oh God, you know, I'm thinking of all the work that gets involved. And she said, you can have them sitting on the bar. And I thought, okay, well, when I do something, Michael, I don't do anything half-assed. I go all out. So you know what happened with this shoot? Our 5th anniversary party was that night at 6 o'clock at the restaurant. Clients and friends came to celebrate 5 years of business. We were in the studio. I thought, if I'm going to do models, I'm photographing them. There's no alternative. I don't want to waste that moment where you can capture something.
Right.
So I reached out, and I thought, I'm going to do ice queens. Because I thought of ice. I thought if the models were sitting on the bar, they could have like dry ice coming up around them. I don't know, just thought of ice. So that's where I ran with this. So this I call the ice queen, and the photographer Russell Underwood was amazing. When I told him the concept, he made the backdrop out of layers and layers and layers and layers of saran wrap to make it look icy, like an ice cube.
Smart.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, it's all communication. That's why everything was white. And if you look at the makeup, actually there was a couple that I couldn't find to add to this, but if you look at the makeup, it's very icy looking. It was a great collection. And if you look at the piece, in this particular one, Michael, if you see the piece traveling through her hair, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because this is what I use in my current nominated collection. When we get to talk about that, I just wanted to point this out before we go, So I ended up doing 5 models, and we were in the studio at 7 a.m. in the morning, hair, makeup, wardrobe, shooting, and then at the restaurant by 6 o'clock for a for a party, for a celebration of 5 years in business. And this was in this was in 2010, just so you get a timeline.
Yeah, it's so incredible to me that you managed to turn this from not just a shoot, but a celebration and a public function of sorts as well is pretty incredible. Okay, I know you're dying to talk about this collection created such a shockwave, right? Like nope, not going there yet. But this collection I mean, so striking, so, I mean, captivating, like it gives all new meaning to fix your mop, right? Like, and I think what's so incredible about this, and what I try and teach people all the time about NAHA, is it's really about capturing that moment. So talk to us about this collection.
Oh my God, Michael, it's, again, like I said, the T, right? T. It's a thought, an emotion, and then it's action. And what happened was I had a bunch of commercial mop heads unopened in a bag in my basement, and I was going to throw them out, but I reached out to a designer and said, do you want these for something? No. For some reason, I don't know, I just kept thinking about them. So one day I opened them up and I looked at them and I just started playing with it. And then it started growing, and I thought, oh, this is taking shape. So it wasn't like I was I wasn't planning to enter NAHA with this, but I liked where I was going with it. And I went to NAHA's website. I've always checked the rules and regulations because, they change every year. And I think I started working on this one first, where I did it's the basket weave. If you look at the top of it, if people can zoom in when they, it's a basket weave. And I read the rules and regulations. It said any hair light fibers. So I thought, okay. And then I went across the street to Paradigm Gallery, where Jason Chen, my photographer, who's awesome. We've been, the funny thing is, again, Michael, we've been talking about shooting for 5 years, and we never had. So, and I think I remember in our previous interview, I mentioned to you that this wasn't the original team, but I didn't like their feedback. I wasn't feeling their energy. So I decided to go in a new direction. And when I showed Jason I had this idea, I didn't even show him anything at that point, to be honest. I want to make hair pieces out of mops. He goes, great, let's do it. I'm like, all right, great. And he was involved every step of the way. And to me, I wanted to use a model that would be the opposite of what I used to make it stand out. So I wanted to go with a woman of color, because I just knew that would be the best fit for the collection. Every collection, not all models are going to be appropriate for every project and collection you have. You know, so you turn models down for certain things, but this model, Terry Lisa, she was amazing. She brought her A game. She felt it. She got into her character, how she felt. We didn't even tell her to do this. She just did it. And when she did it, we saw it on the computer screen. We all screamed with elation. And I had the tingles. And I just felt the emotion and the energy in this. And I still do. It's just magnificent. But I think what people, creativity is a muscle. Okay, I think creativity is a muscle. We all have it. And if you don't pump it up, it's not going to work. You need to keep, pumping it. But creativity comes in many different ways. You know, you can be, as soon as you pick up your scissors behind the chair, you are creating. Whether it's on, Mrs. Smith and she's 90 years old and has a shampoo and set, or you're doing a photo shoot, it's still creativity.
Yeah. It's so funny. I feel I must be psychically connected to you because I kid you not. My next question was, you're constantly creating any advice for someone who's looking to tap into their own creativity. And you just said it before I could even ask it. It's fantastic. We must have. So what I'd like to do is now let's go into this year's collection. And then we have other fun stuff to talk about as well. But yeah, I'm just obsessed with the mops, #mops, fix your mop. Let's talk about this year's inspiration. So what is the theme here?
Okay, well, as I said earlier, I like to name my collections, and I'm calling this tapestry.
Okay.
That is my name for this. So the theme is, remember when we looked at the Ice Queen and she had that kind of fence? Well, anyway, this is made out of a fence. It's black rolled up garden fence. It's plastic, it's malleable, you can bend it, you can cut it. It comes in a roll. You get it from any Home Depot or wherever. I had some left, and this wasn't really my full intention of going all out the way I did. But what I wanted to do was I started sewing small areas of this fence, and I was going to add it to hair in a different way. But it just grew and grew, and it took forever because it's all hand sewn. It's hand sewn. And imagine like a needle point, but on a much larger scale.
Right.
But so I had a bunch of hair that I have in my workshop downstairs from previous shows or previous photo shoots that I hadn't used, but I also ended up buying more. This was the first one that I worked on during lockdown. But like most creators, I'm sure, I lost my mojo during lockdown. I was in lockdown. Philly was in lockdown for like 3.5 months. I could have completed all 3 looks in that time, but I didn't. It just wasn't evolving. So the only one I almost complete, like maybe 95%, was the pyramid shape, which is this one here. And so what I had done, I'd cut the shapes out and then I sew in it. I tell you, the sewing, let me tell you, forever. Then I reopened after lockdown on June 26th. So, and our photo shoot was September 13th. So pretty much just over 2 months, not even 2 months since we had 2 months between reopening, which, as you know, was crazy busy initially, as most hairdressers were when they reopened after lockdown.
Yeah.
So during that time, I made 2 other pieces. And then what I did was I got foam board and I cut the shapes out and glued them to the foam board to get that stiffness because I wanted them stiff. And the more, as I was working through this, it was also during the time of, the riots. Philadelphia was one of the cities that hit. My studio got hit, and I just thought of all the different, the textures and the colors. I was thinking about just the world. And just how we're all part of this tapestry.
Yeah.
And then I gave my awesome designer friend, Priscilla Couture, I gave her some Spence and I said, make me an outfit to go with this collection. I showed her the pieces and so the dress was made out of fence as well.
Fit.
And it was hand sewn with, it's all, and it was hand sewn with organza, like a brown, or just stunning. And the makeup, well, you know, initially when I showed the makeup artist the pieces, she automatically went tribal, and that's not where I wanted to go with it. I didn't want tribal markings on the face. So I thought, well, let's think of something kind of a complete opposite. And then I said, why don't we just use like elements, like gold, silver? So we use gold leaf. So that's just like sprinkles of it. And I just think outstanding job. But the model was amazing. And of course, Jason is just the photographer, Jason Chen. He's really great at directing and just keeping the model at ease. And I mean, it's stunning. I just love it. I'm in love with this collection.
It's all about, I mean, for me, this is all about the hand positioning, the wardrobe. It's all working together. And that's what's so incredible. You know, you have a quote that I pulled. If your mind can perceive it and your heart can believe it, you will achieve it. It's like, it's one of your isms, isn't it? Talk to us about this.
It is. Yeah, so when I used to do stage work, that was always my closing quote. And also when I taught in salons, you know, back in the day when you would go into salons or at the academy. And I really do believe that, because it goes back to the T word, you have to believe it. You have to, you know, if your mind can perceive it, you have to think it, you have to believe it, you have to own it, and you have to be proud of it. And I really believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. I really believe in that. And when you're doing a collection, do it for you first. Because if you're entering NAHA, ask yourself, why are you entering NAHA? You know, or if you're doing a photo shoot, why? Why are you doing a photo shoot? Is it for NAHA? Is it to publicize your salon, your branding, and so on? You need to know your why that you're doing it. I love doing photo shoots. I do it for me first. And then, to be honest with you, I wanted to enter texture, which I did enter this in texture, and it didn't get nominated, just so that people know. But I felt like it got avant-garde. It got avant-garde. Yeah. Okay, this is looking more like avant-garde now. So I'll go into avant-garde, you know.
Very avant-garde, yes.
Again, just so that our friends out there know that, you know, even during your time when you're creating your collection, you may kind of sway one way or another because of how it starts to evolve, and that's okay. And I wasn't going to enter it into texture, but Jason was like, oh, you may as well enter it into texture. Why not? You know, but it didn't get nominated. So I want our people to know that.
So I want to touch on some education, because obviously you have a wealth of knowledge to give with your 30 plus, just like me, 30 plus years in the industry. I'm like, hard stop. We will never say more than that. Pablo Picasso said, one must first learn the rules like a pro before you can break them like an artist, right? And that really,
you love that.
That really came home for me, right? Because in my years of mentoring and educating, I've seen many people who are like, I'm an artist, I'm abstract, I'm here. But you really are based in a foundational understanding of the craft of hairdressing. Tell us about why that quote is so important to you.
Oh, you know, that's such a profound quote, isn't it? It really, when I first heard that, it just hit home, really hit home. And when amazing guy, Danny Boom was an amazing hair cutter, but he could not relay why he was doing it. So he'd say, you hold the hair out like this. Well, what's like this? like this, I would go home and just mimic what this is. I didn't have a technical background. It wasn't broken down. So I became more visual by watching him. And I watched everything, like where his pinky was, where his left foot was, where his elbow was. I would go home and stand in front of the mirror and mimic that. But it wasn't until like later on when I was with a company then, they really broke it down. And I felt inadequate. I felt like everything I had done up until then was like, I didn't know what I was doing, but it seemed like it was okay.
Yeah.
And then I started to break it down. And to me, the head shape is the most important breakdown ever. I know everyone's like, what? Yes, because without me, that quote is so deep and meaningful, because it means that you've got to do the work. You've got to study. It's like you have to learn the alphabet before you can read. You have to learn to walk before you can. And it's like, wait, stop, breathe, and maybe take a step back and revisit, because it's never too late. Because no matter where you are in your industry, if it's 30 years like us, blah, 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 it's never too late, but at the end of the day, your foundation is your foundation. So you have to learn the rules like a pro, and then you can break it like an artist. And that's when it becomes really fun. When you break the rules of coloring, for instance, right? You go down and you mix your color. Oh, I'm going to just bung a little bit of this in it. And because you're confident, it's confidence when you learn the rules like a pro. You gain confidence.
I think, I mean, it's like you see these fine artists who are able to do a little scribble, and yet they could do the Mona Lisa if they wanted to, not Da Vinci as well, but like they can do this sort of thing. So I love hearing that. Look, we only have a couple minutes left here, but one thing I want to do is, speaking of education, you and I have partnered for Living Proof, and I'm going to be the first to announce it right here. I'm going to announce you officially as my very first guest on the Living Proof stage for an entire series of events we're calling Textures. And I'm so excited to be welcoming you to the Living Proof stage. And you have some good stuff coming our way, don't you?
Yes, I do. I'm excited too. I'm really looking forward to this collaboration and this opportunity as well.
And that will be at ISSE.
Let me know if you need me to.
Remember, it's $25 for a ticket. Go to probeauty.org/ISSE. So we will both be there on the 14th and 16th. So I'm looking forward to that. What I like to end these on is always a creative question that is fun for the viewers and for everyone who's watching there at home on Facebook. I'm going to ask you this. If Crayola Crayon today said, Francesca, we love you, we love your work, we would like to offer you to make your very own crayon, what color is it and what would you name it?
See, I did a little homework. I cheated a little bit because I had a feeling you would ask that question. So I don't know if you can see the color of my walls behind me, but my favorite color really is purple. And any shade of purple. Any shade of purple, really. So I would like to have, but I'm calling it Regal. That's the name. Regal, but it's Regal. It's Regal, as in I am adding on to and bouncing off of Fatima from a couple of weeks ago. Remember, what was hers? Bold her? Bold her.
Yeah, bold her. Yes.
And I love that. So I'm calling it Regal, like the girl, the gal. But the crayon is going to be, it's going to have so many different shades of purple in it that you won't know until you start using it which shade you're going to get. And every now and then there's going to be a pop of sparkle, just like champagne.
Just like champagne. That is such a beautiful, and these just get better and better. Francesca, you're so amazing. Congratulations on your nomination. I can't wait to see you at the live show. Do you have any
Oh, me
final words of wisdom for us before we leave you today? Any for those watching who are so excited to participate in NAHA?
Yeah, don't give up. Those of you that have entered, first of all, thank you, Professional Beauty Association, NAHA, and the judges, and of course the lovely Michael, Sean Corby. And don't give up, because you've got to be proud of your photo shoots. You know, if it doesn't get nominated, this doesn't matter. They go on your wall. You can send them off to magazines. You can get published. There's always something. But I'm very excited about this too, because I just want to add, if I may, that not only have I got nominated for NAHA, I'm also turning 60 on the 27th of August, which is 2 days before NAHA. So I already have like 20 people. Let's hope so. Also, in May, it'll be 16 years in business. So Sweet 16 and Sweet 60. And then in July, it will be 30 years in America. So overall, as crazy as this world still is, I've got several things to look forward to this year, and I'm very, very grateful. And again, thank you for having me as a guest, and thank you, NAHA. I just love the organization. Is amazing. It really is. So thank you so much.
And the organization loves you back from the first day of getting an award with Frederic Fekai, as he likes to be a Frederic. And
I got to kiss him, right?
Oh, you kissed? I can't say I've ever kissed Frederic, but if you're watching, Frederic, hello. So nice to see you.
To get I kissed him.
And happy Big 6-0 to you. Ladies and gentlemen watching, thank you so much. We have so many of these creative conversations coming. Remember, we have, I'm looking at my next guest, Isidro Valencia, incredible makeup. Make sure you check it out. I'm going to be here every 2 weeks with creative conversations. And this year, we're only interviewing the nominees. So you can figure out what does it take to get that nomination. I'm Michael Sean Corby here for the Professional Beauty Association. Compliments of Living Proof, of course. We will see you at ISSE this year. Don't forget, go to probeauty.org/ISSE, and we will see you there. I'll see you on the 24th in the next conversation. Thank you so much, Francesca, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.